Hey everyone, I got another comic book haul for you today. Today I went to Epicos, or the other day I went to Epicos for their huge Black Friday sale. I was gonna hit up a lot of places, but I heard of the sale that they were having on Instagram, and after I got done with there, I had no money left to spend on myself for Black Friday. The rest had to go to family and friends for some Christmas shopping, but I found a ton of good stuff. Everything in their back issue bin was half off. So there were just some insane deals. Some of the books I found already were good deals, as you'll soon find out. But to add half off to that just completely changed the game for my shopping experience that day. I was finding stuff left and right. Some stuff I had to put back, but at the end of the day, I got a lot of good stuff. I filled in a lot of gaps and things and found some issues that I've been really looking for. So without further ado, let's get into it. We've got Black Bolt #1, written by Solid and Ahmed, art by Christian Ward. This is the first solo Black Bolt series. If you don't know, Black Bolt's the leader of the Inhumans. Very cool character. He doesn't ever talk hardly because his power is that when he does speak, that it's like this giant sonic boom that can just level cities. He is an awesome character. His costume's dope. The premise of that character is just always really cool. I like the Inhumans quite a bit. I've been trying to read more of them, and I actually read a lot. I read this first issue, and I really, 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 really enjoyed it. So I have a lot of the other issues, and I plan on reading those as soon as I can, just because of how much I like this one. But this I paid $3 for, and it's about a $20 book. So fantastic deal to find at the very start of uh, the comic book search for that day. Next we have Elektra and Wolverine the Redeemer #1. This is written by Greg Rucka, art by Yoshitaka Amano. This is the very last issue of the this three-issue miniseries that I needed. The cover is just amazing. Look at that cover. Some like traditional Japanese style painting for the cover. And I've looked in these before. They're kind of like half novel, half comic. Like there are some pictures that go along with it, but it's mostly just like, you know, pages of what's going on. They just like it's a book. And super neat. Was super happy to find this, especially for just $3. Um, couldn't pass it up. So Elektra and Wolverine the Redeemer #1. Next, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, number 25. This is written by Dan Abnett, art by Alex Garner. It's a series I've been trying to piece together for a long time. It's the run that inspired the MCU movies, regarded as probably like the best Guardians run that they've had. Very influential on the team and their place in Marvel. But this is a key. I think it's just the final issue and it was scarce. It's worth $9. I paid $7.50 for it, so they were asking about like 15 bucks for it. But to get it for at least below what it's worth was awesome. I saw it and I was like, well, I have, like, you barely find it for any less than what it's worth, if not more. So definitely got it. And that huge Thanos cover, him with like the meme eyes, like the red eyes that just spotted you. Sick cover. Next, we've got History of the Marvel Universe #3. This is the last issue of this miniseries that I needed. I'm getting it because I just really love, like, I have a ton of books on, like, the history of Marvel and just, like, all this, like, knowledge on Marvel. I've got Stan Lee biographies. I've got Marvel Encyclopedia, the map of the Marvel Universe. Just, I love shit like that. So all the Grand Design series are great too, but this one was just kind of like a retelling of the entire history of the Marvel Universe. and I thought that was awesome. I found them for really cheap one day. I can't remember if they were part of the Dragon Con haul or some different one. But this is written by Mark Waid, art by Steve McNiven, and I paid $3 for this. So super happy that when you can fill out and like the very last issue that you need, you kind of want to jump up and down with joy because, I mean, it's really fun. That's why I don't get trade paperbacks. You don't get that high of finding a comic book that you just need one more of and then finding it uh, when you're searching for comics one day. Next, we've got Howard the Duck, Volume 4, Number 4. I really love Howard the Duck. He's a really fun character. This issue, this cover made me laugh because it says, a Marvel superhero Secret Wars tie-in, a Deadpool Secret Wars tie-in, not a Secret Wars tie-in. Just kind of making fun of how confusing some of those events can be. But Doctor Strange kind of giving Howard a therapy lesson. Howard just floating, talking about his problems, which he's got a lot of. Howard's just a really fun character. I've been meaning to read this Chip Zdarsky run, written by Chip Zdarsky, by the way. And art on this issue is by multiple people, by Chip Zdarsky himself, Katie Cook, and Joe Quinones. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But this was, like I said, I think I said it, but the last issue that I needed, paid $1.50 for it. Would have paid even more for that, but always happy to find some Howard the Duck issues for cheap when I can. So now I can read that entirety of Volume 4. I think he did a Volume 5 too, and I have most of the issues for that, but still got to hunt for one or two, I'm pretty sure. Next, I cannot tell you how excited I was to find these. Immortal Hulk, number 4. As I said in previous videos, I've had to stop reading Immortal Hulk because there's a few of these early issues that I don't have, and I was just going to wait to find them instead of trying to find an alternative way of reading them. And then lo and behold, at Epicos, they had number 4 and another issue that I needed that you'll see in just a second. This series is written by Al Ewing. Just an absolute masterpiece of a book. It is so fucking good. The Alex Ross covers really sell it. The art inside those by Joe Bennett. This particular issue is the origin of Sasquatch. It's worth about $15, and I paid $8 for it. So when I saw it, I didn't really care for the price at that point. I just knew I was gonna get it for, like, if it's 16, you get half off. Of course you're gonna freaking get it, dude. Of course. But awesome cover of Hulk stampeding through town, just smashing cars together, and being a pissed off guy. That's what he does best. But Immortal Hulk number 4. And then Immortal Hulk number 5. Him fighting Sasquatch, who's another cool character. Sasquatch, not to be confused with Wendigo, is a member of Alpha Flight, which is a Canadian superhero team. But this issue, I think it's just because of the scarce print run, it's worth $25. I got this one for $7.50. So again, another great find. Super excited to find this one. And yeah, now I'm definitely gonna read through these because the issues that I've read I've really enjoyed. They changed the art up on issue 3, I want to say, and it kind of like set the pace of the story off for me just a little bit, but regardless, I'm going to continue reading because I've heard so much about it, and I've enjoyed it so far. And next, we've got some Mighty Thor, this one being 346, written and drawn by Walt Simonson, because obviously I'm collecting the Walt Simonson run when I find them. These 2 issues that I'm about to show I got for $2. This one is the first appearance of the Casket of Ancient Winters. No idea what the hell that means or is, but you know, still a cool find. It's not worth a lot, but it's a cool comic to find nonetheless. Thor fighting off some demon dogs. And then we've got 348. This looks like a merge between Malekith and Curse, which I've learned that Malekith is Curse, so maybe this is like an in-between stage of that happening. Same, drawn by Walt Simonson. But really cool cover. Yeah, I like the design of both Malekith and Curse, so if you're going to combine the characters, I'm going to like it even more, or at least just as much as the two of them. I don't know, Curse looks pretty metal, but I like the details Walt Simonson puts, like the little pattern right here on his shoulder. I like that. But Thor number 348. And then we've got the Mighty Thor number 440, not written by Walt Simonson. Instead, it's written by Tom DeFalco and art by Ron Frenz. And this was in their key box. They had like a box of keys, and I was going to get the first appearance of the UFOs because it was at like about asking price for, but then I noticed some like marks on it and a rip, and so I decided to wait to get that appearance at another time because I really like those characters. But I found this one for a great price. This is the first team appearance of the Thor Corps, which is just like, if you know who the Green Lantern Corps are, this is a Thor version of them. And Beta Ray Bill's involved, so of course I'm going to get it. But this is their, like I said, first team appearance. It's a $15 book that I got for $5 because of the sale. They were asking for 10. It's in great condition. They could have asked for 15, but getting half off for that is amazing. So $15 book for $5. Thor number 440. And then one I was arguably even more excited to find was Moon Knight High Strangers number 1. This is written by Doug Moink, art by Mark Texiera. Moon Knight has finally dethroned Deadpool as my favorite Marvel character. I didn't think it could happen, but Moon Knight has just proven time and time and again, no matter what he's adapted into, he's fun as fucking Marvel Rivals. If you've not played Marvel Rivals yet, it's been out for like 3 or 4 days. I have about 20 hours into it, just because I'm no-lifing it when I'm off work. But the moon design, or the Moon Knight design in that game is peak. He's really fun to play. I'm terrible at aiming, so you have to be really precise with him, which sucks because I'm not as good as I could be with him. But his whole moveset, everything is just really fun. And like I said, his character design is the sickest he's ever looked. But I'm trying to collect all the Moon Knight books. I've gotten pretty far in a very short amount of time. In the Dragon Con Hall, I got his first appearance, which is now a crown jewel in my collection. But this miniseries has eluded me. And I found 2 issues, I believe number 3 and 4 at Dragon Con. So when I found number 1, I was super excited, was willing to pay whatever for it. I believe I paid close to around $6 for this. But if it's a Moon Knight issue I don't have, I'm going to get it. And yeah, was super excited for this. I read issue 1, and it's all over the place. It's kind of a mess, but still excited to have it nonetheless. And then next, Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider number 1, written by Dennis Hopeless, art by Scott Hepburn. And there was like a short story in the back of the book written by Donny Cates, and I don't know who the artist was, but it was a character created by Donny Cates. It's an alternate universe Frank Castle, who became Ghost Rider after death, and then became a Herald of Galactus to kill Thanos, but then ended up becoming Thanos' right-hand man. I always thought the character was cool looking. Never read anything about it. I read this issue, and I'm a permanent fan. He is shot up through the ranks as now one of my favorite niche Marvel characters. He's super fun. He's not like Frank Castle where he's super gritty. He is gritty, but when he turns into Cosmic Ghost Rider, it messes with his mind and he becomes more like a Deadpool character. Like, as Frank Castle, he doesn't want to go as Ghost Rider, but then when he turns into it, Ghost Rider screams like, "It's about time." It's really fun. The art in this is awesome. I have to find more Scott Hepburn books now. New fan immediately. The art was so much better than I thought it was going to be. And the Donny Cates story at the end was really good too, which made me go back and read the Cosmic Ghost Riders Volume 1 of written by Donny Cates, #1, and I loved it too. So I'm thinking that Cosmic Ghost Rider, definitely like him more than Ghost Rider, definitely like him more than Punisher. Just a lot of fun. I really, really like this character now. And on the same vein, I found #4. I forget what that guy's name is, but he's the big bad of the series. He's proven to be pretty, like, quite a threat. He beat the fuck out of Mephisto, but I think Mephisto's, like, out of power or something right now. He's not as powerful as he usually is. But pretty cool villain. I don't know if I like his design. He kind of looks like Blastar. But the art and everything around it, I'm definitely going to read all of it and probably thoroughly enjoy it. Even the supporting character, Cassie, was really likable, and the humor in it's really good. Everything, it's everything I like in a comic. It's just really fun. Just a fun book to read, and really glad that I got that first appearance, even though it was just because I thought he was cool from Dragon Con. I now have to find that Thanos run to be able to read all of it to understand more about this character. Because I think he comes into the 616 universe. I think he's canonically, because he talks to Frank at the end of issue 1's in the short story. So that was really interesting. Then we've got Spider-Man Blue, #1. Written by Jeff Lowe, art by Tim Sale. Tim Sale is phenomenal. I've liked his art ever since I watched or have read the Long Halloween, Batman the Long Halloween, and now I'm collecting everything I can from him. Sometimes you can find his stuff for cheap. I found Superman for All Seasons #1 for like $3 at Dragon Con, and I found a few Daredevil. There's a Daredevil yellow one. You can barely see it out of frame right there in my comic bins. But he did like the whole Marvel Color series, which from what I've read has been phenomenal so far. I've liked Hulk Gray. Captain America White hasn't been the greatest, and I've not read Daredevil Yellow because I don't have book 1 yet. But I did read this one while I was kind of researching stuff for this video. And I really liked it. I love how he draws Green Goblin, and I love how he draws Spider-Man. This story's more about Gwen Stacy and her relationship to Pete, and I thought it was a super good first issue, and I'm excited to read the rest of them. Next, another one I was super excited to find. Stormbreaker, the Saga of Beta Ray Bill #5. Beta Ray Bill, my beloved. This character is so amazing. He's not on the cover here. I don't know who that is, but he's on the skull of Surtur, who destroyed Beta Ray Bill's home. And he's basically like a cosmic version of Thor. Beta Ray is not Surtur. Surtur's like a giant demon guy. But this is written by Michael Avon Oming, art by Andrea DeVito. I paid $4 for this, so it was $8. And this was the last issue I needed. You can see behind it, there's issue 1, which is a key. It's worth about, like, I think 15 to 25 bucks. But the other issues have been relatively easy to find. I've got a few issues that I got for cheap, but they were pretty damaged. But I didn't really care, and finding this last issue was a no-brainer that I had to pick it up. So Stormbreaker #5. And then we've got The Superior Foes of Spider-Man, number 2. Written by Nick Spencer. Art by Steve Lieber. It's a series about a team built up of C-list Spider-Man villains. So I'm going to try my best to name them off here. We got the Beetle, like the second Beetle. We got Shocker, who's a fan favorite. We got Boomerang, who's a fan favorite. Not Captain Boomerang from Suicide Squad. That's Boomerang. And then we got Speed Demon. And then we got, I think, Overdrive. That guy just drives. I'm not sure what, I don't know much about him. I read issue 1. I was really excited because Comic Book Herald had a article about this being one of his, in his like top 100 Marvel stories. And just the description he gave made me super interested about it. And the first issue was fun, but the writing wasn't exactly my speed. And I'm hoping that the rest of it is going to be something I warm up to. But yeah, I got number 17 of the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. I think I said number 2 earlier. It's number 17. And then here are some great finds. I found some issues of The Vision, Volume 2. This one being number 4. Written by Tom King, art by Mike Del Mundo. I have heard literally countless amounts of praise for this series, and have tried piecing it together for quite a long time. Tom King, this run and his Mr. Miracle run are just 2 series I've heard so much about that I've been really trying to piece them together and find them. Several issues of this are really low print, so they're scarce and kind of hard to find, but that makes them rare and worth stuff. So I paid $3.50 for this issue, and it's worth $12 actually. So that was awesome. And then we have number 5. Another rare low print one. I paid $4 for this, and it's worth $15. So again, great. Vision's getting escorted in the back of a vehicle, and he's kind of just phasing through where most people would get head trauma. And then easily the best cover of the entire haul, and probably not one of my favorite covers ever. I love this cover. Number 7, with all 3 Scarlet Witches reaching into the Vision. Just the red and the capes flowing and the centerpiece and everything about this cover just works. It's awesome. It's so cool. And this one is worth $20, and I paid $4 for this one. So again, another great find. Probably one of the best covers I've ever seen, and was super excited to see this in there. So there's the Vision. And then next, another one, guess what? I was really excited to find Warlock from his original series, number 13. This is written and drawn by Jim Starlin, which I've read a lot of Adam Warlock stuff written by Jim Starlin, but nothing drawn by him. And I did read this issue. It was something else. There's a lot of exposition in this issue, which is fine, but I was just not mentally prepared for it. That being said, I did really enjoy it, and I definitely enjoyed the art, and I just become more interested in Adam Warlock as the days go on. But this is the first appearance and origin of Star Thief, who ended up being like a dude with no sense of sight, smell, hearing, taste. He can't move. He's bedridden, but he doesn't have any of his senses either. And so he just sees black and can hear nothing, and he was basically like, God was just like, fuck this guy. And made it to where he just had the worst possible life anyone could be forced to have. But he got so in depth into his mind that he learned how to have cosmic abilities. Like he started snuffing out stars, which is kind of stupid, but I mean, it was entertaining. It was pretty entertaining hearing like this nonsensical way of explaining how this worked. And I got to give him credit. He definitely put in the work to make it sound plausible. But I paid $2.50 for this. It's around mid-grade because I don't know if you can see it, but there's some like during the lettering, it's kind of like faded a little bit. Uh, Around mid-grade, it's worth about $8, but for paying $2.50, it's still awesome. And most of the time, I don't even look up how much stuff is worth until after the fact. It's just if I want it, and I want it in my collection, and I want to read it eventually, I want to build that out. If it's by a creator I like, if it's a character I like, anything, that's usually why I pick something up. But Warlock number 13, super, super happy to find this one. And then next, I found Werewolf by Night, Volume 3, Number 1. Written by, when I looked this up, his name literally just came up as Taboo. There was no, I don't know if that's a last name, a first name, or both, but according to what I was looking at, it's both. And art by Mike McCone. But this issue 1 is the first appearance of Jake Gomez, one of the many Werewolves by Night. And this is one of the last books I found on during this haul. I looked through about all the bins, and then my friends were ready to go, and I noticed this whole other bin, and they came back in for me, and they were like, really? And I was like, but look what I found. And so I didn't get to look through all of that, but I still found these next 2 issues, and I was super happy to find them, especially for the price I found them at. I paid $8 for this. So they were asking for 16, paid $8 for it. It's a $30 book. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know Jake Gomez was that sought after, but apparently it's worth about $30. So I was super, super excited to find that. And issue 2. Cool cover. I don't know if that's like a cybernetic storm in the top right. I don't know who these characters are, but I like the supernatural side of Marvel. I think that it's a cool niche. I wish they would expand on it more in a meaningful way, get some good writers on it. Brian Hill's doing a good job on Blade right now, even though issue 2 was kind of slow. I have faith that it's going to get better. And the Bloodhood event was really good, so maybe the Werewolf by Night stuff's going to get better too. The Red Band Werewolf by Night, though, was not my cup of tea. I'll get it as a back issue from here on out if I can find it, just because I like the character. But aside from that, not going to get it. And you might be thinking, well, he's just a werewolf. That's kind of boring. Well, this series introduced Moon Knight, so I am indebted into it by just law, I think. So I have to find all the Werewolf by Nights I can now. Moving on to the indie stuff, we have Bolero, issue 4, written by Wyatt Kennedy, art by Luana Vecchio, and this is the same writer as Wyatt Kennedy also wrote Knights, which is probably in like my top 3 favorite indie series going on at the moment. I mean, it could be up there with all time. I love Knights. I think the world building is so fantastic, and the team on Instagram, they'll reply to me and talk to me about me being just me nerding out and all sorts of stuff. It's been a really crazy ride. They're about to do season 2 of that series, and I'm just here for the ride. I thought this was also the same artist, but it's not, and that's okay. I'm in it either way, and I've been piecing these together. I've been finding them for cheap, for really cheap. I got this one. I got these 2 for $2.50. And these were the very last 2 issues I needed. So I'm about to do a complete read through of it all. I read issue 1 and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, from what Knights is, it was as crazy of a concept as Knights, but it just, I don't know, it wasn't what I was expecting regardless. So, Bolero number 4, and then Bolero number 5. Crazy ass cover. Don't know what is going on with it, but really excited to find out. Whatever it is, it can't be good. Her head's split open like a damn watermelon. But, and she's got some Doc Ock tentacles wrapping around her throat. Really interesting. She kind of gets a chance to start life anew by this cosmic entity that looks like a cat. And she can go to different realities, but she only has so many times she can jump realities before she dies, I want to say. And the issue 1 ends with her going to reality where her ex-partner, who she's still in love with, she's still with them, but she was a man when she woke up. So that's an interesting take. I don't know what to expect from issue 3, but I plan on having a good time reading it regardless. Next, we've got Kaya, number 5. I got this for $1. Written and drawn by Wes Craig. I've heard just many good things about it. I've been trying to piece it together as cheaply as I can. Number 1 eludes me, but I did find a way to read it, and it was all right. But that was the same reaction that Rocket Robbie on Pop Culture Philosophers had when he read issue 1. He was like, it's all right, and then it's gotten pick of the week so many times at this point that it's hard to keep track. He keeps comparing it to Bone, and I am a ginormous fan of Bone. It's my favorite comic of all time, probably my favorite property of all time. Fuck you, Netflix, for not adapting Bone. But if you're going to compare something to Bone, I am immediately interested in it, regardless of, you know, how expensive it is or how I can find it. I'm gonna find it and I will buy it. Next, The Legacy of Luther Strode, number 3. Don't know much about this. I found Luther Strode issues before, and they had number 1 and 2, and I didn't get it because I thought I had those. But to my surprise, what the issues I had were from a separate miniseries called The Legend of Luther Strode. This is written by Justin Jordan, art by Tradd Moore, and if you don't know who Tradd Moore is, find Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise or Silver Surfer Black and just strap in for like the craziest art style you've ever seen in your life. It is psychedelic, it is like continuous, like wavy. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I mean, the amount of detail in every panel of Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise and Silver Surfer Black, for that matter, is staggering. I mean, it blows my mind every time. If he is involved with the project from here on out, I will be interested in it. But I got number 3, number 4. And these covers are great, but they don't do the interior art justice. Please, for the love of God, look up Tradd Moore art. Number 5. Little gimp suit that guy's wearing with some chains. Actually, pretty cool design. And then number 6. I'm going to assume from the previous covers that is Luther Strode, the blonde guy. It's how I wish I looked. It's how in my head that I look, but maybe I do, who knows. Anyway, next we've got some stuff I was really excited to find. Where are my gamers at? Modern Warfare 2 Ghost, issue number 1. Written by David Lapham, art by Federico Dalaccio, I read the first issue. It was kind of trash. It wasn't that great at all. Yeah, was not, but I'll probably force myself to read it because I love Ghost so much. I mean, it's based off, obviously, it's based off the video game. Ghost is the best COD character, and he's from the original Modern Warfare trilogy. They kind of retcon a lot of stuff in the new ones. Uh, don't listen to that. Go to the best story-wise trilogy that that they've ever done, which is the original Modern Warfare trilogy. So incredible. Ghost death traumatized me as a kid for like a few weeks. It fucked me up. But uh, these are just really rare to find, and they're a very low print run. And I paid really good prices for all of these, I'd like to think. They're all these issues I'm about to show you, and I already had one issue. I got every other issue that I needed. They're all worth $20 each, and I paid quite a bit less for that for most of them. Now, this first book I paid $15 for. Still a great deal. They're all in fantastic condition. Awesome covers too. The covers are honestly, like, they're worth buying just for the covers. But I got number 1. I've got number 2. Sick ass Ghost cover. Ghost is gonna look sick on any cover though. I paid $17.50 for this one. Not $17.50, $7.50. Sorry. Same with this one. Would shit myself if I saw that coming at me in the woods if I was an enemy of the state. But again, another sick cover. Don't know if I'll read the rest. I might. This next cover might be my favorite from the bunch. Just the red dot sight adds a lot to it. God damn it, stand up straight. Number 5. I got this for I didn't write down how much I got this one for. I'm guessing I got it for $5, or I got, yeah, because I wrote issue 4. Okay, I got this one for $5. Again, $20 book. Sick ass cover. Gonna say the same thing for all of these apparently. And then number 6, Ghost chillin', smoking a cigarette. Fantastic cover yet again. And I paid $7.50 for this one. So overall, fantastic finds. That, so excited to find these. So excited. Just if anything, to have the covers and the flex that I have the Modern Warfare 2 comics. And then moving on to the very little DC books we have. We have Catwoman, Volume 3, number 3. Written by Ed Brubaker, who I love. He did the Immortal Iron Fist. And I'm sure there's some other comics he's done that I've read that I'm not thinking of right now. But I always come up with the Immortal Iron Fist is my favorite thing he's done by far. Art by Darwin Cook. If you don't know who Darwin Cook is, he did the New Frontier for DC. And I watched a Cartoonist Kayfabe video talking about Darwin Cook's art. And I wanted to find all the books I could on Darwin Cook. I mean, his art style just is everything I like in comic art. Cartoony, cool, dynamic. Still that splash of realism in there. And both of them together just make for like a creative power team. And I got this for $2.50. And I've seen these go for quite a lot, these earlier issues of Catwoman from this volume, because they redesigned her costume and everything. So finding it for cheap was just amazing. I was super excited about that. Then next, we've got Green Lantern, Volume 4. Number 9, written by Jeff Johns, art by Ethan Van Sciver for this issue. This issue is the first appearance and origin of the second tattooed man, Mark Richards. Whatever that means. I don't know who the tattooed man is. I definitely don't know who the second tattooed man is, but I've been trying to collect all these Jeff Johns Green Lantern issues just because if I had to pick a favorite DC character, I go back and forth on this all the time. But as a kid, Green Lantern was easily my favorite. Held Green Lantern because that's just who the Jeff Johns run was based off of, which is the one I read when I was younger with all the different colored rings and everything. Awesome. Such a cool concept. I really loved how he went about his run. Made me like the character a whole lot. Now I'm trying to collect the issues I don't have now that I'm older. And then we've got number 15, art by Yvonne Rise. I paid $1.50 each for these. So, amazing finds. Green Lantern holding this woman up on his shoulders. She's looking like she's having a great time. She's scratching the shit out of his chest. I would throw her ass off of me if she was doing that. But, I think she's a demon. I'm not sure. He's got a little demon tail on his hand, which I assume is connected to her. But the design is just kind of strange. I'm not sure what exactly that's connected to because it looks like it's connected to that weird cape thing on her back. I don't know. Again, gonna have to read it to find out. But Green Lantern number 15. And then last from this comic store, because I had a little extra room, and I went to my local comic store and bought some books because Diamond's been a real bitch and not been sending comic books in. So I got several other books that you'll see in a moment, just to kind of help support Comics Unlimited, my local comic shop, when I don't have any books to buy anyway. Before we get to that, let's talk about Mr. Miracle, Volume 4. Written by Tom King, art by Mitch Gerads. And like I said earlier, I've heard countless praise of this run. I've been really excited finding them recently. Found this one for $1.50. Last issue of this series, Mr. Miracle. So, I mean, anytime I find these now, I'm probably going to get super excited. One of the books I got from the last haul, not one I showed, but off camera, there was one that I had gotten for a previous haul. I was excited to show it too, but it ended up being a second print, so got mad, started throwing stuff. Not really, I just was disappointed. But that's it for the Epicos. Gonna plug myself right here by saying like and subscribe, guys, if you like comic book content. Plan on doing a lot more cool stuff. My camera kind of messed up, my $1,000 camera, so gotta fix that, and then we'll get ready for some new content. But as of right now, just comic hauls, which is fine. This one is the start of the Comics Unlimited stuff I got. Panther's Rage. No, Panther's Prey. Black Panther, Panther's Prey. Number 3. Written by Don McGregor, art by Dwayne Turner. And this is the continuation of the infamous Panther's Rage storyline, which, let me move it out of the way. You can see right there. Actually, that might not be part of that storyline, but it's from Jungle Action, one of the original Black Panther storylines. So I was super excited to find this. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same creative team. I know Don McGregor was the writer. I don't know if Dwayne Turner was the original artist for that story arc, but, and by the way, I do not remember, rather, how much I paid for these. So if I say how much something's worth, it's because I got a good, I mean, there's going to be one or two where I tell you how much I paid for them, but most of these I don't remember. I might have paid like $4 for this one. $3-4. Next is from Captain America Volume 5, number 43. The issue before this and after this, and make this the trilogy of the most confusing fucking covers I've ever had the displeasure of trying to collect in my life. I cannot describe it any other way besides one of them, Bucky and Cap are switched sides, and another one, it's this exactly, but one of them's Winter Soldier, like Bucky's Winter Soldier, and they look, you cannot tell if you're going off memory which issue you have and which one you don't. And I remember going to my CLZ and being like, son of a bitch, these look exactly the same, but I don't have that one. And I found it here. I was like, thank God. That was going to haunt me in my dreams if I did not find this issue soon. And I got it for, I don't know, probably like $1. Written by Ed Brubaker, art by Luke Ross. Famous Captain America run. Love Ed Brubaker. Nothing more to say. Stupid ass fucking cover. Next, Captain Britain and MI-13. Something I'm gonna sit down and read after this video ends. I've always been interested in Captain Britain. I think he's a cool character. I've heard great things about this series. I've heard a lot of good things about this. And I got this for $2, and I was like, holy shit, this is, I gotta check my CLZ app. It's one of the last issues I needed. I don't think it's the last one I need, but it's one of the last ones I needed. Now I can read a big chunk of this series that I've been honestly dying to read. But it's written by Paul Cornell, art by Brian Hitch. I had no idea it was worth anything. I didn't know I was getting a deal at all. But apparently it's worth $12 because Black Knight and Phasia Hussain joined MI-13, which is the team that Captain Britain's running in this book. But God, super, super happy to find that one. Could not have been more excited, and I'm 100% reading it once this camera turns off. Next, we got Daredevil Bullseye, The Target, number 1. Don't know what possessed me to buy this. Probably because I love Bullseye. And I've gotten to where I know I'll like Daredevil if I put the time in to read his stories. Because I like street level vigilantes a lot. I like almost anything Marvel, but this is one that I feel like I've not really tapped into yet that I would really like. But this is written by Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, the Silent Bob, who's also a famous comic book writer. He directed Jay and Silent Bob, I think. He directed Clerks, and he's the main comic book guy in Comic Book Men, which I might put on and watch today. I love that show. But art by Glenn Fabry, and it was for $1. I was like, oh, that's cool, definitely worth $1. Because I think I had this on my list to get anyway, just because it was a Bullseye series. Probably gonna categorize it under Daredevil though, since Daredevil is the main hero of it. But still, really cool to find that for as cheap as I did. Next, Deadpool's Art of War, number 2. This is one of the last Deadpool miniseries I need to collect. I almost have every single series that Deadpool's ever had with Deadpool's name in it. I have everything, and I've not read everything. A lot of stuff I like, a lot of it I don't, but miniseries are usually pretty good. I like Deadpool's humor in the books before the movies came out. Not to bash on Ryan Reynolds or anything, but the whole like random like XD internet humor that the movies have is fine for the movies, but when the comics started writing to match that energy, I just did not like it. Because my favorite part about Deadpool is that it's kind of like going to a comedy club and watching 3 different stand-up comedians, them signifying in this metaphor like 3 separate writers that have a separate voice for Deadpool, you're going to get new laughs and new kinds of comedy in each run. And it didn't feel like it was copying anything. It felt like each one was doing their own take on how Deadpool talked and perceived the world and everything. And I really, really enjoyed that. And yeah, this one is written by Peter David. I had no idea he wrote this. I'll probably read this once the video's over too, but I was super excited to find that out. Super cool. And I love the cover. I love all the covers for these. I have no idea what this miniseries is about. I can take a guess, but seems like it'll be a fun read, especially Peter David's writing it. I had no idea he wrote a Deadpool book, much less a miniseries, but super cool find. I think I paid $8 for that. Was just excited to finally find that issue. And then I found some Superior Foes of Spider-Man, which I talked about a little earlier in the video, but I found more on this separate trip to my local comic shop. Found number 2. Pretty cool cover. I found number 10. I really like that cover. Pretty sure that's Superior Spider-Man holding him. Yes, it is, because he's shooting out the Dr. Octopus tentacles. Oh, that's so cool, actually. Superior Spider-Man, kind of a lot to explain, but just it's Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man. If you're confused on how that would work, read the book. It's really good. And then number 14, Boomerang and I think Overdrive or whatever his name is arguing because he hit a pole. I'm seeing now. That's their driver is this guy. Boomerang is the guy with boomerangs on him, but the whole team seems to be getting into arguments. At least they were a lot in the first issue. And I'm excited to see that bond grow. It feels like almost It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia team of people, because all of them are bad people, but you like them, like you're rooting for them, even though they're just kind of not good people at all. But yeah, excited to find these. I get really excited to find these, and even though I thought the first issue was just okay, I'm excited to find the rest of them. And then finally, funny story about this one. I spent $5 on this Daredevil Yellow book that I thought I didn't have, and then I got out into my car, saw that I already had it on CLZ, and I brought it back inside. I was like, I already had this. Can I like do anything about it? She's like, yeah, just go pick out any comic book worth the same. I was like, okay. And that Daredevil Yellow, I was just excited to find because I needed it. It wasn't worth anything more than $5. But then I found this that I traded for because I recognized it, because I was looking up Red Lanterns, because I think the Red Lanterns are really cool. I think Atrocitus is really cool. And this is like one of his big keys. And I was like, oh, I know that looks familiar. How much is that worth? And I looked it up. It's a $25 book. And I was like, oh my God, hell, of course, for $5, yes. So I picked it up, and yeah, basically got to trade that Daredevil comic for this one. It's written by Jeff Johns, art by Shane Davis, and get ready for a lot of first appearances to be listed off right here. First appearance of Bleeze, Dexstar, Zilius Zox, and many other Red Lanterns. And separately, the first appearance of Saint Walker, a Blue Lantern. So I think many of like the main Red Lanterns, other than Atrocitus, this is their first appearance. But really cool to find for $5, especially how I found it. It was fate. It was meant to be. And then obviously got to go back in and talk to Ashley some more. So it's always a treat. She's awesome. But guys, that is it for today. Again, make sure to like and subscribe and follow for more. See you in the next one.